I would like to introduce Maria, who is the Deputy Librarian of the Salinas Public Library organization.
It's a real pleasure to see you all here tonight to welcome one of our own, our very own, James Golden. Welcome home, James. Where are you?
Right here.
Welcome back home, and I hope you're here with us many times again in the future. Don't forget us.
I won't.
We're here. As you know, the library promotes reading, writing, and we are also very much involved in promoting poetry, and especially with youth. We have poetry slams at the library, actually at both libraries, East Library, John Steinbeck, and Cesar Chavez. So maybe you can come back and help us continue growing the poets in Salinas. Thank you for coming, James, and we're delighted to have you.
Thanks again, Deputy Librarian Maria. And right about now, Salinas, your very own A31. Put your hands together. Let's get loud in the library for once for Mr. James.
I'm a son of the night. My skin is golden. I look just like the inside of an orange. Fruit plopping from branches to coal black soil, composting with time, planting my seed in the moon. I'm a son of the night. Thank you guys for coming out today. Welcome to the Inside of an Orange book launch. I'm really proud of this book. I just want to go back for a second and just talk about this cover. The cover of my book was inspired by the title, and it was designed by a graphic designer in LA. And if you look at the actual book, you'll see several different faces on here. Half of the faces are artists who have inspired me, and half of them are family members who have inspired me as well. And so at the top you have my dad. You have my mom when she was little. Next to her, you have my grandmother, who the book is dedicated to. And you have my aunt, Margaret. And then Donna Summer, Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Amy Winehouse, and Erykah Badu, who all have poems in the book. So we're really excited to be here and to offer some of the poems from Inside of an Orange, and we'll do some of the old poems, and just really grateful for the opportunity. Really excited about our president winning a second term. I'm sure some people aren't, but it's for the better of our community and communities around the world. I wrote Son of Obama 2 years ago, and I was really inspired after seeing him in LA. He just represented everything that I've ever hoped to see in a politician, and I decided that I'm kind of like one of his sons. I'm the generation who's going to benefit from who he is. So I'm a son of Obama. We bumped the same beats, hitting the dance floor to Jay-Z, tuned the tube to TV1, Centric, VH1 Soul, Planet Groove, those classic BET shows. We play basketball on Saturday mornings before briefings begin on foreign affairs, spending just enough time before tea. I'm a son of Obama. Brown skin, liquid in the sun, dripping down the sides, an ice cream cone. Our hair matches hues. We attend the same barbershop, same Soul Glow classic fade, razor trimmed edges. We gossip, cracking jokes, only father and son discern. I'm a son of Obama, up tall in solidarity, especially when he believes everyone is an equal. He raised me up over his head to a thunderous applause. Leo presents Cub. He anointed my head with oil. Shine, shine for the world to see. I'm a son of Obama. He looks just like me. Thank you. Thank you. This is a poem about getting old. I'm going to be a 30-something soon. But I always tell people, I don't have gray hair yet, but my hairline continues to recede. I've begun to bald. Getting old isn't for sissies. Alzheimer's hasn't onset yet, but I always lose my keys. And what I ate last night generally escapes me. My excessive regimen often hibernates, and push-ups go on hiatus. I have huge corns on the sides of my feet. Getting old isn't for sissies. My tolerance for BS has decreased. This convenience store checker is taking much too long to bag these groceries. I prefer smooth jazz to rough beats, Boney James, India Ari. No more beer pong for me. I don't eat top ramen noodles, and I fall asleep watching TV. I don't care anymore. Getting old isn't for sissies. I was at Alvarez this morning, and I had a really great time. Part of my tours have always been about promoting literacy, and the same way that so many wonderful authors over the years have helped me to just mature as a writer, I wanted to do that for the people of Salinas as well, and our teenagers are really important. I wrote this next poem, is very, very serious, and I performed it this morning. It's about a really serious subject that I know that we all enjoy. But I remember being in class, and you know when your stomach starts growling and you're like, oh my gosh, am I about to pass gas in here? So I just remember this story, sitting attentive in class, hoping my glasses make me look smart. Then it starts. The gut growls to end and restarts. Heart begins to pound, sweat bops around my forehead like 200 little beads dropping to the floor simultaneously. The teacher was just getting to the good part about Picasso and postmodern art. I cannot, will not let this thing take control of me. I have the power. The function belongs to me. Still it seeps out like an ever-growing tree, blowing my belly up like the minute hand at high noon tea. Ducking and dodging, I'm out of my seat, stepping over comrades, trying to be discreet. Guess I shouldn't have overindulged the culinary cart being burritos outside the mainstream Kmart. Jet down the hallway, almost tripped over a laundry cart. Lord, please let me get there after everyone departs. Run into the bathroom, spread those cheeks apart. Push ever so gracefully to escape that stinky fart. Thank you. I spent so much time writing so many poems about sadness that I had to do some happy poems, and it's just been really great to actually write these poems. How a victim convinces himself the world did him wrong at an NA meeting was inspired by one of the kids that I work with in the juvenile justice system, and how it's always an excuse for something. And I said, let me write a poem about this one day, and just all of the excuses that people make as to why they're going to continue to do the same behaviors. And I just imagined being at an NA meeting, and I said, hello, I'm Victim, and I'm an addict. Hi, Victim. I was once one of those bubbly, ebullient type people, but circumstance circumcised me. Infidelity stole my victory. My girlfriend wore me as an accessory. Daddy never gave me the backstory. Jack Daniels alone was too boring. Miss Shits and Giggles wasn't trustworthy. She told Mom about my corduroy soaked in pee. I missed my baptism in the Red Sea. Marsha, 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 I'm Jan Brady. Look at me, I'm the victim of the school bully. I would have been loved more as a worker bee. The Queen and Hive would have called me Captain T. Shouldn't have let you pick from my apple tree. Too many missed opportunities. I have a comb over that deserves a master's degree. The hairstylist used too much lie and I cannot see, so I don't do much work and my boss simply hates me. Now I'm in 12-step recovery, trying to get back to loving me, hating everyone who did me wrong, but I'll take them on after one more hit of the glass pipe bong. That was fun, right? And you guys can clap too. I know that we haven't talked about poetry etiquette yet, but I know when we get to the heavy poems, people are like, should I clap or should I just breathe in deeply? And it's okay. Whatever you guys feel like doing, however you want to respond, this is about you guys. Okay, I want to get into some tributes. Part of this book is about tributing artists who have been instrumental in my life, and I'm a musician first and foremost and a writer second, but writing is my career. And somebody who's extremely important to me is Erykah Badu. She's one of the greatest songwriters I've ever heard in my life. Aside from being a brilliant singer, I've probably seen her about 5 or 6 times. And what I respect about her is the way that she takes words and she transforms them into these narratives that kind of guide our generation into spirituality and wholeness. And I love the lyrics that she has. So I wrote this poem for her, which I have been performing on the Afro Clouds and Nappy Rain tour. And it includes a lot of her lyrics to different songs. So if you guys love Erykah out there, are there any Erykah Badu fans? Okay. If you don't, Google Erykah Badu tonight and listen to one of her songs, and you'll be changed forever. I am a lyric from the pages of history, beyond witches and warlocks, nature and love. I'm from an Erykah Badu poem. I picked from apple trees forbidden and woke up to tell you the time. Carried your bags that they wouldn't weigh down so monstrously. You kissed me on my neck. I fell in love with a bumblebee and tasted her honey, named a building after you and spelled it correctly. Erykah's YKAH threw some off, but not me. Lord knows I'm trying to open penitentiary gates, set free the me's inside the shell. I sit often beneath orange moons, letting light tell the time. Many, many, many nights, I listen to the crickets under the snare and cymbals. They comfort me. The hi-hat made love to me, and I said how good it is. I am flow, fat beat, jamming, laughing, singing, talking, speaking from inside the speaker box. I praised God in there, and she loved me quickly. I was written and expressed in the voices of Shaka and Mayfield, half Diana, one part Stevie. Whitney was always in there, and Billy orchestrated them all. Gil Scott baptized me, Jill, my prayer partner. I'm brighter in you. I appear on a better looking type of paper. I smile with my words. Take breath away. Store words in the hidden place of seed. I am boundless, more honest than tea. Better with side dishes, wholesome enough alone to eat. I am flow, song, lyric. I am he and she's always in me. An Erykah Badu poem. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. She's an amazing artist if you guys don't know her. Another amazing artist who inspired me was Nick Ashford, who passed away, and I remember really having a heavy heart after he passed, because for songwriters and for writers in general, you hear a lot of their quotations, you hear a lot of the songs, and you don't recognize who actually wrote the songs. A lot of Motown songs, most of Diana Ross's songs, a lot of Marvin Gaye songs, Tammy Terrell songs, were composed by Nick Ashford. Whitney Houston has songs that were created by Valerie and Nick, and he's somebody who's just been instrumental in the music industry, so I wanted to make sure that he had his fair due. I wrote this poem for his funeral, and although I wasn't there to perform it, that was my way of giving back. This is a fine composition for Nick Ashford. I know these things happen, and it must be true, that artists come and they leave too. You were here yesterday and gone today. Took some of our soul session piano away. We'll miss those glassy haunting eyes, long jet black frock, towering genius standing on his tip tops. I'll play your songs often and speak of you to children, about your love for art, for soul music. A fine chocolate masterpiece and dozens you've given to those simply starved by ultra bland rhythms. You were here yesterday and gone today. Took some of our soul session piano away. Remember me as a sunny day. Remember me as he who played songs that rose a generation from the pits of hopelessness to unspeakable gladness. God, those Marvin Diana Dusties were classic. An ability to convey through lyrics love for a Valerie Simpson who bore your children made us listen. Her all-inclusive range and soul-laced pain, love unconfined, baptized in rhyme, christened by your touch on those old craggy keys in a Hitsville basement with the rest of our kings and queens alike, singing the greatest outright defiant love-struck composition giants. I looked away for a minute, stared too long at a sun ray, lost a stone from my tipple, flattened out to clay. You were here yesterday and gone today. Took a bit of our gold, retracted the bold, moved forward from our pound the keys till they burned the bridge and light the mother on fire heyday. Took our soul session piano away. Thank you. Okay, I want to do a poem that has been dedicated to who I consider the greatest songwriter of my generation, someone who took the words that we've experienced and put them so eloquently on a record that I just can't even comprehend how she came up with so many of these different songs. Amy Winehouse is misunderstood, and I know that our generation really celebrates her, and for a lot of people she was a joke or she was the punchline, but in reality I learned so much from her artistry, and yes, she did suffer in this life, but that's where the best art comes from. So I appreciate, and this poem is dedicated to Amy. This is everything that I've wanted to say about her death and how we did or did not support her while she was living. I was there, Amy, with you. My veins turned purple, black, blue, stuck up with poisonous medicine healing that busted heart. I saw you pass out on stage those heated Brazilian nights when the heroin seeped through your pores, dripping down a thunderous crash on the barren stage floor. I was there, Amy. In the audience when we first heard that voice, a magnificent overture of strings and woodwinds. You died under our skies, and we let the rain pour. I was there, dropped tears into the soil of a tattered soul. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, here comes the hard part. February 11th, I was sitting at the Beverly Hills Hotel, having lunch with Laureate Divine and Anika Noni Rose, Keke Palmer, just an array of black entertainers who were awarded or were nominated for the Image Awards. And I remember we were all so happy, and we were talking. I asked Laureate Divine, I said, well, I know that you're good friends with Whitney, and what is it like working with her? I've been her biggest fan forever. And she said, working with Whitney is like working with the entertainment god. And she was like, she has looked out for all of us in this industry. And it was really interesting because we walked out, we went to valet, we all got our cars, and I'm driving down the 101, going back home, and I get this phone call that Whitney Houston had passed away. And to hear that at 2 o'clock while we were having our lunch, she was only merely 30 feet from us across the street at the Beverly Hilton, and she was passing away. It was a surreal moment for me because it was the week before the Image Awards. The woman who's been my biggest inspiration my entire life was not there anymore, and then we had the Grammys the next day, and all of LA was silent. It just felt like there was this heaviness that was across the entire space. And the last thing I remember is I was at Kelly Price's Grammy party the night before Whitney passed, and that was her last public appearance. And I remember seeing her and just thinking to myself, I think I posted it online, I said, I just love her, and I told her, I love you, I've always loved you. And in a way, I felt like that was God giving me the opportunity to heal before I even knew what was going on. I wrote this poem in the weeks that followed her death. I didn't write for a long time. And I wrote the last song, and this was the final poem that I wrote for Whitney, and I knew I wanted to put it in the book. This is the last song, a Whitney Houston original. Sing your final song, song of strength, courage, fight to overmake it. A rainbow appeared in you. The rain did not fall anymore. You sang the last song. The people spoke of a fiery voice and troubled heart. You blazed the trail led right up to the gates. I am, mostly because you were. That's the truth. Your spirit deep in my soul, growing up into the clouds. I played notes so sweet for you to sing. Open chords and treble clefs line the walls of your soul. A life not wasted, legacy unbreakable, top-heavy rhymes and distant times to share the gift God gave the lady, the last song. No, not maybe. My heart will never be the same. A sun appeared in you. The light shone so bright it took out my eyesight. Be with me always, I know that you will. I miss you already, and much more still. Closed casket, open throne. Rid the wrong, I can't believe you're gone. You sang the last song. Thank you. Okay. I had a performance in Venice Beach, and I did not make it through that poem at all. It was a horrible, horrible time. Okay. So I want to move into some poems. When I went to Cal State Northridge, I was a Pan-African Studies major, and so I understood the importance of Black literature. I have grown up appreciating Nikki Giovanni. I met her not too long ago. She's an amazing woman. Rita Dove, who is a Pulitzer Prize winning poet. Maya Angelou, who came to CSUN and gave us some of her very best. There's Amiri Baraka, Toni Morrison, June Jordan, Sonia Sanchez. There's an amazing line of artists who have supported being Black. And one of the things that I wanted to do is speak to my generation and let them know there's nothing wrong with the words I love you, and there's definitely nothing wrong with being a Black man. You are big and bold, and I love you, Black man. Your fists are bigger than the ocean, lips stick out like mama's butt. They speak the sounds of someone superbly saxophoned by nature, soulful, and I love you, Black man. 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 That was just my very, very simple tribute, and it was very important to me to open my book with that. Being nominated, or actually winning the Image Award from an organization such as the NAACP, the first civil rights organization in America, was a wonderful experience. I couldn't think of a better award to win first. I was in the NAACP when I was little in Salinas, and my parents were both presidents, and I grew up around the NAACP, and I dedicated this poem, Freedom's Gate, to the NAACP. The poem right before it, They Don't Have To, says, I step foot in the gas station, the stairs start. Side eyes open from the potato chip aisle prying into my skin. I see them judge me. They don't have to say anything. This is Freedom's Gate. I wear bite marks well around my ankles and thighs. The water hoses couldn't wash away my fire, burned steadily encased in cement blocks guarding my soul. Dogs punctured, but did not break my bones. I called to the heavens, relieve us below. And God sent a ride or die ability to cause hell on earth for any who chose to stand between me and freedom's gate. I'll walk in one day over the mountaintop. I'll jet ski down that beast right into the light. Freedom's Gate. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna go back for a second to my very, very first book, one that has been a big inspiration. This book came from my senior poetry thesis when I was getting my degree, my undergraduate degree. It was a chapbook. It was about 20 poems at first, and no, it wasn't 20 poems. It was like 20 pages. There was about 6 or 7 poems in it, and I knew that there was something special about this chapbook. I didn't really know what it was, but I just had this burning inspiration to create a book around these poems. I didn't think that this would end up being my career at that time, but it did, and I'm really glad it did. One of the poems that really always stands out to me that I've always appreciated was Ashy Feet. And I talked to, this morning at Alvarez, I was talking about ash and how ash is very black. It's something that is very ownable. Okay, I'm creating words. It's something that represents the best of me. And I'm not afraid to sport my ash. I'm not afraid to talk about it. It's something that connects me to my people everywhere. So I love Ashy Feet. From the flower-like dust that comes after scratching that dry charcoal brown skin to the callous-looking buildup underneath those toes, I love Ashy Feet. And the fact that lotion can't even protect them from the aftermath of swimming and drying off those crust buckets reminds my mind, I love Ashy Feet. And rubbing that buttery clear baby oil in between the cracks of layered skin around the ankles is like maple syrup on griddle cakes. A sign of strength are those feet that I love, dusty and gray. I love Ashy Feet. Thank you. It's a very important poem to me. Probably always read that. Okay, well, I'm gonna do some poems from Afro Clouds and Nappy Rain. This is a very important book in my career. I'm sure when I look back, it'll be one of the milestones. And I remember writing, beautiful, beautiful black boy, eyes dark as midnight, love the skin you're in, rub lotion on it every chance you get. Breathe into those big brown nostrils the air of a new hope. Kiss the mirror frequently and smile with your eyes the size of watermelon slices. Beautiful, beautiful black boy, dance around the room and land on your back with arms and legs, praising God, facing heaven, then wipe the sweat off your forehead and collect your shadow. Thank you. That poem is extremely important in my life. I wanted, with Afro Clouds and Nappy Rain, I wanted to give a voice to a population of young men who don't usually have a voice, and working with troubled youth for almost a decade now taught me a lot about humility, and it also taught me a lot about the need to give back and to give a voice to people. I remember sitting one day at Olive Garden waiting to get my seat, and this woman out of my peripheral walks up and she's looking like she's about to touch me. This is when I had dreadlocks way back in the day. And I looked up and I saw this woman's hand raise, and I said, I know she's not about to touch my hair. And lo and behold, before I could even open my mouth, her hand was already on my head, grabbing my dreadlocks. And I said, this whole chill went over my body. It was a surreal experience. I went to my table and I took out a napkin and scribbled on a piece of paper the entire words to this poem. Power, powdered chocolate, sliced slats dripping down my back like spikes on a porcupine's tail. And this woman just placed her hand in a trap laced with 3,000 mini-mite strand pricklies, because I don't allow no one to touch my hair. It's like brushing a hand against broken, barbed, upright fences, a shocking series of slicing, thorny rosebush stems, uprooted in the summer's 2:00 p.m. Ma'am, please don't harass my consciousness. Don't assault the reincarnation of Bob Marley's crown atop my head. Do us all a favor and stare, but leave my humanity in its nappy black high chair. And don't you dare touch my hair. I've read that poem so many times. It's just really, really interesting because I just got off the Afro Clouds and Nappy Rain tour in April, and to go to different cities around the nation. I was in Atlanta, I was in Houston, and to be able to read at different schools and to different young people and to have these poems go to different places was amazing for me, and I was really, really grateful to God for that experience. You know, one of the things that still to this day is difficult for me when I'm working with young people is parents who abandon them. I don't know why I have such a strong feeling about that, because I had a great growing up. My parents were there for me, but to see so many kids in the foster system, in the juvenile justice system, who don't have parents, or their parents are there but don't want them, really gets to me. I wrote letter number 5 to an absent mother, and it's one of the central poems of Afro Clouds and Nappy Rain. I wrote this poem based on one of my kids who, his mother was a prostitute, and she was also addicted to cocaine.